Good evening, Shifties. Welcome back. Oh, I forgot to say, and we're live. Whatever.
Oh well.
Welcome back to Shift the Journey. I'm your host, Tito Amogus. Tonight's guest is Amanda Cox. Amanda is a senior project manager, as you can see right there on her
Yeah.
screen. So we met several years ago. You came down to Mississippi on a
Mission trip.
mission trip,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yep.
to like rebuild the coast after Katrina, correct?
Yeah. I came with Encounter, my campus ministry in college. So you're making me sound old now, Tito. It was
No,
like
definitely
11
not
years
as old
ago.
as me.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, 11 years ago. Okay,
yeah, I
cool.
think it's been that long. And yeah, we came down to work with relevant ministries and do some rebuilding down there. And then we found out we both played cello, and the rest is history.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
Yeah,
There are not many of us around.
it's true.
Although, when's the last time you played cello?
Oh my gosh. I was just talking with my parents about this because they're asking me the same thing. And I think the last time I touched a cello was when I was with you. So it's been
Oh,
that.
that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's been a while for me too. See, we had a night of worship in like, what was it, April? I think it was April. That's the
Oh,
last time I
nice.
played.
Okay.
And it was like one song, and I was like, I'm dying. My hand is killing me. My
Mm,
shoulder's killing me.
yup.
Anyway, anyway, let's go back to the show.
Sure.
So, if you're tuning in and you don't know what in the world is going on, this is an opportunity where I get to interview somebody new each time, and they get to talk about their career journey. And life is a journey, right? We have shifts, we have twists and turns. Sometimes I can't even get those words out of my mouth. But I know a lot of people who have gone from one career field to another career field or one industry to another. And then I also know a lot of people who are trying to, but they don't know how to get there. And I always say, we can't provide you with a blueprint because everybody's experience is different. Everybody's work experience is different. Everybody is just different. But what we can do is we can provide evidence that it's possible. And so I myself am a career shifter. I started out my adult life, my young adult life in the Air Force, and I really tried to get out at least 3 times, but it just didn't work out. And I ended up hanging on for dear life and retired at 20 years and went into a career in data analytics in a brand new town, a brand new state. And that was fun. And so tonight we're going to talk to Amanda about her experience through her career. All right. So, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Appleton, Wisconsin, which no one ever knows where that is. So it's about 30 minutes south of Green Bay.
Okay, 30 minutes south of Green Bay. What
Yeah.
is Appleton known for?
Oh gosh. It's known for cheese, of course,
Oh, yeah, of
because
course.
Wisconsin. And then the fun fact is it's where all of the teams playing the Packers stay because there's not actually anything really in Green Bay worthy of an NFL
Really?
teams. Yeah, so they all stay in Appleton.
That's interesting.
It
The only
is.
thing I know of that's in Green Bay, other than the Packers, is Costco because my sister's family used to live in Marquette, Michigan.
Okay.
And every now and then they would take a day trip with a cooler and head down to Costco and go get a bunch of meats and stuff. So
Nice.
that's all I know about it. I've never been
Sure.
there.
But that's not unique to Green Bay. There's Costco's everywhere.
So, oh, okay. No, I know this. So I recently saw there was some kind of rivalry um between Michiganders and what do you call yourself? Wisconsiners or
Wisconsinites. Yeah.
Wisconsinites?
Is it about what
And
it looks more like a mitten?
yes,
Is
and
it?
my wife and I were talking last night and she's like, "Show me that map of Wisconsin."
Yeah.
And she's like, and I said, no, everybody I've ever met from Wisconsin tells me where they grew up or where they live and in like proximity to whatever city.
Yeah.
Everybody I know who's ever come from Michigan is like, I was like, where do you live? And they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so which one is the mitten state? Michigan.
But they have the Upper Peninsula.
but that it doesn't
So
count.
that's not a part. What part of
It's
the mitten is that?
it's
It's
like
like,
this. It's like I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know, but I'll tell you, the UP is beautiful.
it
What?
is.
How does Wisconsin compare to like Michigan and all that in like beauty?
Geographically, I
Yeah,
mean, I think they're very similar. We
yeah,
are on either side of Lake Michigan, so we have
yeah.
that in common. Up north, Wisconsin's gorgeous, and obviously we have Door County, so I feel like we have that going for us.
You have what?
Door County.
What is that?
Have you heard of that? Okay, so now I'll use my hand. It's this part of Wisconsin, and
Okay.
it is like an entire county named Door, but like I don't think of it that way. It's just Door County. It's a bunch of cute small little cities. It's very touristy. They
Oh,
have like little ice cream shops and boutiques and hotels, and it's known for cherries. So like everything's cherry flavored up there. They have some wineries, some breweries.
huh.
Very pretty. Yeah.
Sounds like a place I need to put on my bucket list
Yeah, absolutely. Go
for
in the
when we
summer.
retire and travel. That would be
Yep.
great.
There you go.
Okay. So we talked about how you went to school in Illinois. What
Yes.
brought you there?
Yeah.
What was your like what was the big draw to
So my
Bloomington Normal?
Yeah, I know. Good old Bloomington Normal. Smack dab in the middle of Illinois amongst the cornfields. Like, why would you go there? No, my parents grew up near Illinois State and they both went to ISU for their undergrad. So
Oh, okay.
when I was younger to visit my grandparents, we would come down through Bloomington Normal and they lived in a small city about 30 minutes from there. And my parents were very fond of ISU and took us there to visit and would kind of go down memory lane and be like, we used to go to this pub, come get food here. And so when I was thinking of applying to college, the only college campus I'd ever been on at that point was ISU, and I had just loved it and thought it was so cool. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
but I wound up going there because it is a teaching school, and I originally was going to be a music ed major. So it just lined up
Hmm.
really well that it was near family, but far enough from my parents that I had some autonomy,
Yeah.
and had a good opportunity for education. So,
Yeah. So you didn't I guess you didn't finish with the music ed?
no, not really. So this is where my shift the journey started.
Okay.
Was I applied to ISU as a music ed major. I did music ed for 4.5 years, didn't end up getting my education license, added Spanish as a second major and double majored, and then went straight into grad school for higher education student administration,
Hmm.
and got my master's of science in education, which is what pushed me to working in the higher ed space. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. And so, like, while you were finishing up in school, did
Mhm.
you have like job prospects? Were you doing like internships or anything like that?
Yes and no. But I had already known as an undergrad student that I wanted to go straight into grad school for this program. I
Hmm.
was super involved on campus. I was an orientation leader. I worked in our student center, did a lot of campus activity,
Hmm.
programming as a student, and just loved ISU and loved what opportunities it gave to college students.
Hmm.
And so through that, I really found a passion for working with college students because I felt like they have the ability to make so much change.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and so I knew I wanted to work very closely with them. And we were well known, we being Illinois State, well known for a higher education student administration graduate program
Yeah.
with a strong pipeline into working at ISU. And that was what I wanted to do at the time. So I didn't focus as much on internships as an
Hmm.
undergrad as a lot of other majors would have, like business or like even student teaching, really, because I already knew I wanted to go straight into grad school.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like orientation and like all the campus activities.
Yeah.
That sounds like super extrovert activities.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever work with anybody who's like, "Oh, I can't handle this. There's like too many people." Or were you like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not bubbly enough. Everybody is out shining me." Right?
No, I did not have that problem. I don't know if you're familiar with Myers-Briggs, but it's like a personality type
Yes.
test. And as part of the orientation leader training, we took like a Scantron written version of the Myers-Briggs.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
like old
official,
school,
official. Okay.
official,
Yeah.
to figure out what our personality types were, so we knew how we were going to work in teams and what the summer would look like. And there are 21 questions on the Myers-Briggs that are pertaining to introvert extrovert typing. And
Hmm.
I answered 20 of the 21 questions as an extrovert. So
Oh my
that,
gosh.
yeah, so I
You're
have like
like
next
dun,
to
dun,
no
dun, dun,
introversion.
super extrovert. What?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what is your what is it? Your type? What do you call it?
Yeah, your type, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
an ENFJ.
Oh, ENFJ. So what
Yeah.
is the difference between the ENFJ and ENFP?
So J is it stands for judging, which doesn't mean judgmental. And then the P is perceiving. So it's how you view information. And J's are typically very organized and like
Oh,
lists,
whoops.
and and P's are a little bit more like, I'll say, artistic or free, where they view information but then maybe organize it differently than what people would consider like organization in a box, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. I don't like boxes.
Right.
Which is like people ask me, well, what are you doing in the military? Surviving.
Right.
So ENFP, yeah, that's me. But
Nice.
ENFJ, okay.
Yep.
All right. So how long did you work as in like that type of role?
In orientation and like at universities. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did 2 years as a grad student as a paraprofessional. So as part of that program, you get an assistantship and work while you're attending classes. So I did
Okay.
that semi-professionally for 2 years. Graduated with my master's in 2019, and then from there moved up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and worked my first job out of grad school there with a peer mentor program. But
Okay.
then we all know in spring of 2020,
Oh
the
yeah.
pandemic happened. So I got furloughed from that role.
Oh
Yeah. So I was in Milwaukee, furloughed from my job. I'm like, what's happening in the world? All this stuff going on, and I have nowhere to work. But thankfully, right at that same time, a role had opened up doing the work I was already doing at ISU back at Illinois State once again, um,
okay.
in a professional role rather than a graduate assistant. So I
Yeah.
was very fortunate that like within a month I was able to
Oh
move
yeah.
back down there. So I moved back to Illinois and did that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep. So
Wow.
I have
I know.
about, sorry, go ahead.
No, I say I knew you were a big Brewers fan, huh? Did that
Yes,
make you sad leaving Milwaukee behind?
it does. Yeah. I love Milwaukee. I loved my time there and it was very special, but yeah, I at the time it made sense, but I still root for the Brewers. Even here, I'm in DC area now, so
Yeah. So, how long was your second stint at ISU?
second stint was about 2 years.
Mhm,
And then that's when I transitioned out into higher ed adjacent roles.
mhm.
But kind of got a taste of the remote work life during the pandemic. We
Yes.
worked kind of a hybrid style on campus during that time period. So I was still with students like half the time during the week, and then 2 or 3 days a week I would work from home. And I was like, this is cushy. I like, I like
Yeah.
so,
Yes. Oh, man. I miss at least hybrid. I the
yeah.
last see, the first time I started working hybrid was I wanna say it was, like, mid-2017.
Oh, nice. You were
Yeah.
an early adapter.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
then and it was, like, 2 or 3 days at home, depending we had, like, a reorg, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, now you're working 3 days from home." I'm like, "Oh, don't hurt me." And then, sometime in March, I was at work. We had, like 16 people on my team at that time, and we were only ever in office together every Tuesday and Thursday, and it was a Friday, and it was like 10:30 in the morning, and my boss sends everybody an email, "Hey, go home and don't come back until we tell you to." And
Yep.
we're like, we're gonna stick around until like 11:30, then we're gonna go eat some pho." went to the Vietnamese place.
Yeah.
I went and had lunch with these two guys, and I never saw them again. It's been
Yeah, isn't
it's
that
been
crazy?
6 plus years.
Insane.
They never said come back, and so I left and went to another company who never went into the office. Also, oh man. So what kind of higher ed adjacent roles did you or role did you go into?
Yeah. So at first, I transitioned out to a higher education company that works primarily with students that are in pre-professional programs, so like pre-med, pre-law, doing test prep for the major exams that they need in order to get into those graduate programs. So I worked a
Hmm.
lot with like law students and med students, preparing them for the LSAT and the MCAT respectively. So I was still working with students, but I worked remote, and then would travel to different campuses occasionally to go present at student organization meetings. So like if they have a pre-law club on campus, they would partner with Kaplan, which was the company I worked for at the time. I would go give them a presentation on what it looks like to study for the LSAT, and then we would partner with their organization and get them test prep materials. So
What kind of so you were like teaching classes, huh?
no,
No?
I did presentations, but I was not an instructor. So we did kind of like the intro tease of like, here's some of the things that you could learn, but if you take courses with us,
Oh.
we have like certified instructors that can fully teach
Oh,
you how
I
to study for
gotcha.
this exam. Yeah. So I would
Okay.
talk about just some of the introductory things, but mostly it was kind of helping students prepare for what that process looks like more than anything
Hmm.
else. So it was kind of more of an advising role, which is what
Yeah.
I already been doing on campus in a
Hmm.
sense. So just transitioning out to help them look at what next steps look like. Hey, you probably want to think about starting to study between this time frame because you'll take the exam within this time frame, you'll get your results back around this time, and then you can start applying for the programs with those results around here. So kind of just helping them map out what that looked like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great. Everybody needs some kind of advisement, especially if they are not organized people. Like apparently, I am not.
I never said disorganized, I said artistic.
I no, yes, I my wife and I always talk about because she's like way more like organized in the traditional sense
Sure.
than I am, and I mean, you know, it's I know how my brain works, and it may not be working how other people's brain works,
That's okay.
but I'm still alive after all these years. So hey,
Yep.
I haven't you know chosen to do anything that took me off the deep end. But anyway, um, okay. So then, how long were you at Kaplan?
Just under 2 years there as well.
Okay,
Yep.
and were you thinking like about your career path? Like, oh, this is something that I can keep doing, or did you already start looking at like project management?
I had already started looking at project management. So, what I did on campus when I was working at Illinois State, and similar kind of in some ways when I was working at UW Milwaukee, was overseeing programs that had events as part of them. So, the program that I worked with at UW Milwaukee was the Peer Mentor program. And as
Hmm.
part of that, we would have student events and have primarily freshmen. It was geared toward first year students to try and retain them on campus, make sure they had touch points, etc., just to make them feel, seen, included,
Yeah.
keep them on track academically, that kind of thing. But we'd host events and make sure those students were able to come there.
Hmm.
When I worked at Illinois State, I worked specifically in student programming. So I oversaw a campus programming board that was responsible for like homecoming events, concerts on campus, so large scale events that are dealing with like a lot of different small pieces that you have to stay very
Yeah.
organized for, managing lots of people cross functionally all over campus, etc.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned to Kaplan, And I'm kind of doing that again where I'm organizing events for me to travel onto a campus for a couple day period and make
Hmm.
sure that I'm lining up schedules correctly, meeting with students at appropriate times. So I'm thinking through this whole thing like I'm really good at the organization part. Like we
Yeah.
talked about my Myers-Briggs ENFJ and the J, like that's very strong for me. So I'm recognizing like this is a skill set and I like it. So, what are roles that I can do that focus on that piece because I'm successful in that area and I see myself like doing well and being recognized by my peers for this. So at Kaplan, we over the summer would do a couple of internal projects, and I project managed 2 or 3 of those projects at the time and
Hmm.
was like, okay, I really like this and I'm very good at it. So that's when I started looking at what does it look like to be a project manager. Found out that the Project Management Institute has a certification called the PMP,
Hmm.
which is the Project Management Professional. So I looked into taking a course just to kind of like self teach.
Hmm.
There's a site called Coursera. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yes.
Yep. So I took a PMP class through Coursera.
Okay.
And as I was in the process of that, I started applying to jobs with project management titles using all of my previous experience as project management experience because really it just didn't have that name tacked to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
So I wound up getting a job interview as a project manager at the company I'm at now, College Source. I've been there a little over 2 years now and just recently was
Hmm.
promoted to senior project manager. So um, that's kind of the path through there. I never wound up taking the PMP exam because I was like,
Really?
yeah, I was like, why would I pay for this if I already have a job?
Yes.
But
You know what? And there's a whole discussion out there, right? And
yeah,
I see it on LinkedIn just about every day
yes,
about like education versus certification versus experience.
yeah,
And people go, oh, and then there's like portfolios. And so then there's
yeah,
like, oh, what's the people's arguments are like, oh, there's this and it's so good because of this. There's this so good because of this. But
yeah,
I think, you just proved again that it's based on your experience and what you're comfortable sharing with, like, this is my experience and this is how I laid it out. Boom, 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 boom. I know people who have experience doing things and they want to go into a field like that, but they're not confident that they'll be able to say, hey, these are things that I did already and I have experience.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
I, I think
um
the reason you can argue that all of those things are valuable is because they are. But you just have to pick and choose what you think makes sense for your own path because like I I would not write off going to get my PMP certification and taking the exam. I think that's valuable. I just didn't
yes.
want to pay out of pocket for it personally. That was just me.
Yeah.
So
Hey, it worked for you.
it did, thankfully. Yeah.
What what are some of the like thinking back on like the events and stuff? What were some of the biggest events that you organized?
Concerts for sure. Those were by far the biggest. We had to work with our student center because that was our largest venue on campus. So their staff was completely separate from my staff, even though we worked in the same building. So that was huge. We had to work with a middle agent to negotiate between our school and our budget versus like the artist and their agent. So she was the go between to say, hey, we're
Wow.
looking at this date for this price. What you got? And she did that negotiation for us. But that by far was the biggest, just because the budget was bigger than anything I'd worked with before. And then also there's so many moving pieces and it's so visible on campus too. You have students paying for tickets, you have advertising for this event that's open to not only the student body, but like the local community.
Oh,
So
right, yeah.
yeah, so lots going on with that.
Oh, any big names that you can share?
We had black bear when I was overseeing the program board as a professional. So I don't know if you would know black bear. And
No.
then during COVID, we had Jason Derulo, but it was a
Oh.
virtual concert because we couldn't.
Oh.
So we had him do a concert for us, and he like it was cool. He like pre-filmed everything, and the production value was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And streamed that to campus, and then he came on after and did a live Q&A session. So that was cool. But I also worked on Hunter Hayes, Allie and AJ.
Okay.
If you know either of them. I'm trying to think who else we did. Names are escaping me now, but
Yeah, it's okay.
that's a few of them.
No, that's really good actually. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So you touched on something about like capitalizing on your like personality type as far as like applying that to your career path. What would you say to somebody who is trying to do that but doesn't know how to do that?
Doesn't know how to capitalize on their strengths.
Yes.
That's a good question. I think I would start with people that are closest to me and have conversations.
Oh yeah.
If you are in a position where you're starting to think about that, there's a reason why. Either you're not content with your role, or you're feeling like you want to grow in a certain area. And so I think having conversations with people you're close to, whether that is mentors or friends or colleagues, and just talking with them and understanding like, I'm looking for something more, or I'm curious about this. What are areas of strength that you see in me? And what would your suggestions be for ways forward to pursue that? And just starting with those conversations. And then if anything sparks interest, just doing the research to look into it more. Also, we're in the season of AI. I feel like that's the buzzword, and everyone loves to use it. But I use Chat GPT as my sounding board sometimes. Like my own little
Yeah.
personal one. She's named herself, and I'm like, hey girl, like, what do you think about this? But sometimes it's a good option. Just say like, hey, I in this personality type, I like this kind of work. Like, what jobs would you suggest? It'll come back
Mhm.
with something. So
Yeah.
it should work.
Yeah, that's funny. My wife uses ChatGPT like that.
Yeah.
She's talking about it. She's like, "Well, she said this." I'm like, "Who is this she person?"
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yeah. I
was
mean,
like,
take
"I
it with a
don't."
grain of salt, but it's a good place to start.
Oh man. So it's interesting because like most of the project managers that I worked with, oh okay, no, all of them, all had to do with some kind of like organizing some kind of technological thing. I
Okay.
mean, data analytics, right? And so
Sure.
sometimes it's some kind of application or it's a dashboard or it's some kind of process. Um, is it if there's somebody in like that space, but who wants to get into doing something more about like events and things that are around people,
Mhm.
what's one bit of advice that you would give them? I know you already just gave a little bit of advice, but you know, you had some good experience to give some advice.
Oh, thank you. So you're talking about someone who's kind of had the reverse experience of me, where they're in project management but wanting to go into events or into roles that are working with people in person.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it just like apply, talk to people in that field. I don't want it to sound like I had this very easy path from working in higher ed into the job I'm in now. Like I had a probably 11-month job search process where I was just miserable in a role trying to get out and find a project management job, and was like cold DMing people on LinkedIn, being like, hey, friend, I see we both went to the same university. I would love to talk with you about this job that I applied for as a fellow Redbird, or like DM someone and say, hey, I see you're also a woman in this space. Would love to hear your experience about what it's like to work at this company within this demographic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exhausting, and I did that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people responded and sometimes people didn't, and that's just how it goes. And it can be discouraging to look on LinkedIn and see that 250 other people and also 700 bots have applied to a job that you are interested in. But I make connections, whatever small ones they are, to try and have conversations to get you where you want to go. Because I think like the biggest piece is, if you really want to be there, you have to put in work and you have to have drive and determination to get there. And it isn't going to be easy necessarily. Some people it might be, and that's great. And I'm jealous of that. And I love that for you. Come tell me all about it. But that hasn't been my experience. And so I have had to really, really seek out connections anywhere to try and have conversations to get me into rooms and into spaces that I want to be in. And whether that's a connection through your alma mater or through a friend of a friend or a sorority, or just seeing that someone has similar identities to you, like that you can connect on and say, hey, what's your experience been here? Can we have a conversation? Most people have been really willing to speak about their experience. I think people like to talk about themselves, and or at least they're comfortable talking about themselves. And so that's a foot in the door. So that would be my recommendation.
I have this conversation often with people who are, looking to change careers, and they're like, man, I don't know how to do this networking thing. And they're like, oh, I feel like LinkedIn's like Facebook. I'm like, well, I mean, it is. It's like Facebook for professionals.
It is.
But they're like, how do you do it? How do you like just cold call somebody? And I'm like, well, first I do 2 laps around my neighborhood to hype myself up. And then because it's like, while I may be an extrovert, I may be okay in front of people, I am like, oh man, this is weird, because I was like, I can't see your face. I don't know if you're like really understanding anything that I'm saying, and everything I'm saying is I'm typing it, so it's like, oh, or swiping it on my phone, and I'm like, okay, hey, yeah, I applied for this role and I see that you're there and I'd love to talk more about it. And I've had people just completely left me on red. I don't know if they blocked me, who knows, whatever. But and then other people are like, I would send that in a connection request, and then they would connect and never respond. And so I'm like, hey, let me follow up. Nothing. I'm like, okay, cool. Good talk, bro. And so, I mean, it just, sometimes it's like that. And then other times they're like, hey, yeah, I saw you were blah, blah, blah. And we know this person or whatever. And sometimes you can make a connection. And so, yeah, networking is like a really good way to even find out if you are going to like what you're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's hard because I feel like people hear the word networking and they're like, ugh, like, at least,
yes,
it's kind of cringy at this point. Like, to your point about LinkedIn being like Facebook, like, it kind of is. And I mean, I think we all recognize it's like a necessary evil in a lot of ways. But I think because we all recognize that, like, you literally have nothing to lose by shooting your shot and sending a DM. Like, the worst that happens is someone is not going to respond. But the best thing that happens is you get a phone call out of it. and
Mhm.
the person you connected with is like, hey, I would love to refer you for this role. And then
Mhm.
you get your resume in front of whoever the hiring manager is. And I've
Yeah.
had that happen, and I was able to get a job interview at Zoom because of that.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Did they interview you over Zoom?
they did. And they used their Zoom scheduling assistant to set me up.
Oh.
It was really cool. I was like, so this is what Zoom's like? Oh my god. So I've seen what it's like to live like the other half. But
Are you a
no,
Teams
like
user?
you can make good connections that way.
Yeah.
And I think the important piece of that, though, is, for me anyway, is don't let those people feel like you're using them as a
Bingo.
stepping stone to get there.
Yeah.
Like, make sure you want to actually connect with them. Make sure that you're gracious for the information that they're giving you, for the time they're giving you,
Yeah.
and then follow up with them too, so that you actually have a real connection. Whether you
Mhm.
get that role or not, whether you like speak with them regularly or not, that doesn't
Mhm.
matter. But you want to have a good interaction with that person
Yeah.
authentically. And if you can't do that without feeling like you're just using them as a stepping stone, I would re-examine before reaching out.
Yeah. That's a really good piece of advice because um when I think of networking, like people say, "Oh yeah, I went to this networking event." I'm like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
like speed dating, right?"
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
except it's like a bunch of dudes in like sweater vests and like polos or
They're all
whatever.
like,
I
what do
don't
you
know.
do?
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to these things all the time and I just like to talk to people just for fun. And people would be like, that's really weird. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. I've only been to a couple of them and it made me like really uncomfortable. I'm like, why am I uncomfortable? I'm like normally okay with like tons of people.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like there's this I mean, depending on the situation, but sometimes it's like there's this expectation of like something that I'm not good with giving or whatever. I don't know. Like it's sometimes you go into a situation, it's like people genuinely want to know who you are, what you do, hey, how can I help you instead of how can you help me?
Hmm.
And you touched on that and it often makes me think about there was this I didn't like watch the show. I think Angela watched the show and like I was just in the room. American Pickers. And so like no, it's like those two guys who would go and find like these antique things or whatever and like it was a show on A&E like 20 years ago. I don't know.
Okay.
But they went to there was there's some guy's farm and it was like an older guy and he was in a wheelchair and they're like, you know, usually one of them goes into a barn and they're looking around while the other one talks to the person like, hey, tell me more about your story, I'm interested in it. And they said they made a mistake on this because they made some like really good finds on antiques,
Hmm.
but both of them were so excited that they both went into the barn and the guy was left out there. So he felt like he was being used.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're just here for my stuff. You don't want to hear about how I acquired any of this stuff. I want to say he was like a World War II vet. He's like,
Oh
you don't
wow.
want to hear about like my stories.
Hmm.
All of these things have stories attached to them and they're precious to me.
Yeah.
And if you're just like looking at the stuff that the guy has, then that person feels like they don't have any value.
Right.
And so I would say it's the same thing in networking where if if I get that vibe where somebody's like, "Where do you work?" I'm like, yeah, my name is Tito." What? It's like, "Where do you work and what do you do?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, my name is Tito. Sometimes I play cello."
Right.
It's I want to know more about like a person. I want them to feel like they're valued, like they're actually a part of my story too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of me talking, man. I hate it when it turns around and then like it's like you're interviewing me. Um,
Maybe we should try that sometime. You have a lot of
uh,
interesting things to share.
yeah, when it comes to me like sharing, it scares me to death. I don't want to be in your seat. This is why I have this thing here that says host. Bam! So then I can ask all the questions. And so,
This time you can. This time you can.
yeah, this time.
Yeah,
So when you get your show, I'll be waiting for the invite.
I will let you know.
All righty. Okay. So, we've been on this call for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
If you were to, I know I've already asked you for advice, like a couple different things. If there's anything that we didn't talk about, anything you didn't touch on, that would be valuable for somebody who is looking to make some kind of career change,
Mhm.
what would that piece of advice be? I'm going to write it in the chat, and so it's going to go to LinkedIn and YouTube and be there for eternity. So
Amazing.
careful what you say.
I feel like I've touched on all my big pieces of advice, and I don't have the right answers or the wrong answers. I can just speak from my experience. But like I was saying earlier, I think if you're really serious about a career change and there's something that you're interested in, put in the time to research it and look into it and see if it would be a good fit. And that can look like doing a Google search. It can look like talking to Chat GPT like I do sometimes. It can look like messaging someone on LinkedIn or talking to a friend or colleague and having conversations. But start those conversations and do that for yourself, to be able to feel like you've really given it the due diligence that it deserves. And then go from there. So if it is something that you're really interested in, then figure out what skills do I have that align with this role, or this career, and what am I looking to expand on, and what areas do I want to grow in. I would look at those pieces, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I I gotta bring up my notes. I wrote down, and working on my listening skills. I wrote down what I thought you said. Hey, what? I'm still. Oh, I'm struggling.
That's okay.
It's this Mac.
Maybe I should take your host sign.
No, don't do that. Wait. Okay, so I'm typing real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so to sum it up, I said if you're really serious about a career change, put in the time to research it. Start conversations with people close to you. Do it for yourself to see if it really aligns with what you want in a career. Is that what you said?
That is a fabulous summary. It sounds better than what came out of my mouth. You're making me look good.
All right. Yes. Okay. I'm going to put that in the chat, and it's going to be on there forever.
Great.
Forever and a day.
Perfect.
All right. Bam. There it is. All for everybody to see right there. Okay. All right. Listen, I've had a really, really good time, having a conversation with you. You're it's easy to get you to talk. I've had guests who I'm like, hey, so tell me about something. They're like, yep. I'm like, cool. That was great. So we haven't had that problem, which is awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to your show, whenever that is.
Thanks.
And I will be expecting an invite.
You'll be my first guest, Tito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Starting it off, we'll kick it off. That's what I'm talking about. So I just want to thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk about your career. Thank you for giving really sound pieces of advice. I really appreciate that, because people we have conversations all the time, and I'm like, man, maybe I'm not saying it right. Maybe you could go read what Amanda said on YouTube, or on LinkedIn. I like to refer people to like certain episodes if it's like if I think it's going to resonate with them. So,
Cool.
but anyway, I'm going to be off the air for like I don't know, like a month and a half. We're going to come back in is it a month and a half? I don't know. It's a while. We're going to come back in 2 months. We're going to come back in late September.
Oh wow.
I'm
Okay.
going to interview Tony Alvis, who's we used to go to church together, and then he was like Gulfport PD, and then he also was in I think he was in the Air Force Reserves, and he
Nice.
owned a coffee shop. This
Yep.
dude, like, if
Doing it
there's
all.
anybody on the Mississippi Gulf Coast that I'm connected to on LinkedIn, we always have at least one mutual connection, and that guy is Tony Alvis. So I gotta hit him up, make sure that he's still good with this. But I'm gonna take a little break because it is necessary. But you
Yep.
guys have a great week, have a great couple months. Don't go anywhere, Amanda. I'm gonna talk to you in the studio, but everybody else, peace.
Bye.